Today I'm over here in the garden department at Walmart, Newburgh, New York. Just by coincidence, and I'm going to show you how your bike rack can screw up your bikes. Look at this. This is the XGAMES Moto dirt bike looking thing. The XGAMES Motobike. And this is really cool. Like, they took a crappy Walmart BMX bike and they made it look like a dirt bike with a seat, like a fake gas tank, even a number plate. You know, you can put your number on there. Big chrome fender. And it's got these great graphics too. So now, here I have this other bike that I put on the rack last night. This is a Trek 800 Sport. This is a pretty basic mountain bike. No suspension or anything, but this is a good bike. You know, people really like these. They're comfortable, they're easy to ride. You put a rack on the back, like a milk crate on the rack, you ride it around town. So what happens is I put these bikes on the bike rack, and as I'm driving along, the handlebars turn on the Trek and the brake lever starts scraping up this decal right here. Yeah, that's true. I hate to admit it, it's very embarrassing, but last night when I put this bike on the rack, this decal was basically in mint condition. And now it's just shredded. It looks like a rat chewed through it, but no, it was just this brake lever, this Pro Max brake lever. And I'm embarrassed by this, of course, because there are things that I could have done to prevent it, but the reason I'm even mentioning it and making this video is because this happens all the time. When I put a lot of bikes on the rack, like if I go to, you know, a flea market or something, I buy 4 or 5 bikes and I wedge them onto the rack, what'll happen is, like, like let's say this bolt here will come in contact with this fork here, or, you know, this derailleur here will come in contact with this fork here. Now on these two bikes, there's plenty of distance, but depending on the bike, you could have a lot of sharp things poking up against a lot of painted or plated or decaled areas, and it takes about 2.5 seconds for this stuff to just get absolutely shredded. So I can't tell you the number of times that I've had bikes, like forks and chainstays and stuff, get really messed up because I put them on the rack. You know, maybe because I didn't have a choice. I needed to fit 5 bikes on the rack. But what you can do is you can either be very careful about positioning, or you could put like a piece of cardboard or a rag or something in there so that these things don't, you know, see, like that. If that's connecting right there, then this thing is going to just shred right through the graphics on this seat stay. So you put in like an old glove or a cardboard box, and maybe you tie these things together afterwards so they don't move. That's just one of the things. If you're, you know, somebody in the old crappy bike business like me, and you're picking up a lot of bikes, you will eventually encounter something like this, and it's very disappointing. It makes the bikes a little harder to sell, but it's just the nature of the beast. So this is a Trek 800 Sport, basic bike. It looks like it's aluminum, but it's not. You can tell by the welds, and it's really heavy. It's got 21 speeds, 7 in the back, 3 in the front. It's got a quill stem, which is not exactly great, but at least it's a bolt-on the top, so you can change the handlebars pretty easily. Basic Trek seat, quick release seat post, cartridge style bottom bracket, platform pedals are plastic, quick release hubs in the rear and in the front, 26-inch knobby tires. These are, if you look at that, they're really kind of old and cracked, but you know, I got this bike for, well, for free. So that's a pretty decent bike. I'm sure somebody will get some use out of that. And this Motobike, I mean, this is awesome. It's 20 inches. It looks like a dirt bike. It's probably heavy. And I don't know if the suspension fork actually has suspension, or if it's just kind of a, it probably does. It's probably not just for looks. This thing comes with disc brakes, which is kind of cool on a bike of, you know, this is just like a kid's bike, but it's got disc brakes on it. And this fender is very realistic. Like, just the, not the color of it, obviously bikes don't really come with chrome plated fenders, but just the dimensions of it and the way it hangs over the front wheel, it really looks like a dirt bike. The frame's nothing special, just a basic steel frame, but it has suspension in the back too. So, you know, typical one-piece cranks, little alloy platform pedals. So they basically made a full suspension kids BMX bike with motorcycle kit on it and disc brakes. And this thing looks like it's just incredibly fun. The former owner, the guy who gave this to me, told me that his kid rode it like twice and then just put it in the garage, and it's sat ever since. I don't know why a kid wouldn't want to ride this, but I'm sure somebody will. So that's two pretty cool bikes to find on a Tuesday night. And this bike rack has really served me well, but unfortunately I was not careful enough about how to position these bikes. So this brake lever here spent an hour driving home at 55 miles an hour, scraping up against this. And so instead of having the decal look like that or that, it looks like that. So that's just a little word of warning to those of you who are going to overload your bike racks. Make sure to look and see what's rubbing up against what, because otherwise you're going to have some messed up stuff like this. So there you go. The XGAMES Motobike and the Trek 800 Sport right here at Walmart in the city of Newburgh. And if you want a bush for your yard, maybe you should come here and buy one. Thanks for watching.